The flirtation didn't last long. Hilary had her own fan base to please. The 14-year-old TV star took a chance on the big screen.
When I booked Agent Cody Banks, that was one of the projects that I never had to audition for. A producer called my manager one day and said, we think that Hilary would be perfect in this part. Is she available? We read the script, and the next morning, I was going to fly to Vancouver and start working on it.
We were definitely excited for Agent Cody Banks because it's a really big transition from TV show to movie.
Duff began work on the film just as Disney execs pulled the plug on Lizzie McGuire. In July 2002, Hilary shot her final episode. The cancellation stunned cast and crew.
Disney Channel decided that their model was they make 65 episodes and that's it.
We had all become a family on set. We had a party and a wrap party and it was fun, but it's definitely kind of a sad thing, especially when you're a kid.
As a mother and a viewer, I never wanted the show to end. But the reality was, Hilary was growing up.
Disney wanted Lizzie to go to high school in a follow-up series, but a deal never happened. In June 2003, negotiations broke down over money. Still, Hilary wasn't exactly hurting. She was already booked to star in the Lizzie McGuire movie for a cool $1 million.
I hadn't been to Italy in a really long time, and I'm like, Lizzie goes to Italy.
The hardest part was her, kind of love interest, somebody that didn't seem threatening to her. And I got this tape, and the actor's name was Yanni Gelman, and he was adorable.
He played an Italian pop star, this heartthrobby guy who turned out to be a jerk.
Kids I meet, they're kind of a little angry at me about it. It's sort of like, you're such a dink for doing that. And I try to explain, it wasn't me, it was just the character. People are very protective of Hilary. They don't like to see people try to, do her wrong. So I'll be atoning for that for a while.
In 2003, the tween queen became a 24-karat movie star. That March, Agent Cody Banks raked in $17 million opening weekend. 2 months later, the Lizzie McGuire movie debuted.
My favorite moment with Susan was standing next to her at the Lizzie McGuire movie premiere. And we were standing on Hollywood Boulevard waiting for Hilary's limousine to pull up. And I turned to her and I said, "Oh, this is such an exciting moment." And she looked at me, and it was looking straight into the eyes of a fellow mom who is excited and at the same time terrified.
The Lizzie McGuire movie opened big and grossed even more than Agent Cody Banks. Hilary was flying high. Age 15, Hilary Duff established herself as a Hollywood heavyweight. The former tween queen's resume boasted a top-rated TV series and 2 hit films. Duff was ready to tackle her next challenge.
I went to a concert that Disney was putting on. There was all these young performers that were my age, and I was watching them, that looks like so much fun. And if they can do that, I can do that too, And so I told my mom afterwards, I was like, "Mom, I want to be a singer." She was like, "Oh gosh, here we go again."
We're like, "All right, did you ever sing before?" "Yeah." "Okay, what do you want to sing?" "I don't know, I just want to sing." And that's when Andre Drecki came on the scene.
We had her, 3 or 4 times a week with a vocal coach just so she feels comfortable using her voice. It was really, step by step from ground up.
Making my first album was definitely scary. I think I did not feel like a singer at all. But being in the studio, I was working with a lot of great people, and I didn't write the music, and I didn't know that it was done any differently. I was just like, okay.
My biggest battle was everybody knew her as Lizzie McGuire. If you said Hilary Duff, they're like, Hilary, and then said Lizzie oh, yeah. So I said, the first thing I want to work on is getting Hilary Duff out there, because Lizzie is a Disney brand, and I didn't want to have that Disney stamp on her for the rest of her life.
Haven't you heard that I'm gonna be okay?
While working on her album, the performer did double duty. Duff went for laughs in the ensemble comedy Cheaper by the Dozen, starring Steve Martin and Bonnie Hunt.
Being with Hilary on a daily basis when we were shooting the first Cheaper, there was just kids in any neighborhood we were shooting in waiting to speak with her, see her.
You know, it's kind of funny. I'll walk after a scene, and there'll be people, waving for autographs, and I realize it's Hilary standing behind me. But
the film wrapped in June 2003, but Hilary had no downtime. She stepped right into the slippers of her next movie role with former Lizzie McGuire director Mark Rossman.
It's a contemporary version of Cinderella set in Sherman Oaks, the Valley in Los Angeles.
It's really exciting. I get to wear a pretty dress and we get to dance and it's fun. We just met
like 3 weeks ago when we started shooting.
It's good. We're friends and like the whole cast is really cool.
Hilary was a pro, but not when it came to canoodling for the camera.
The Cinderella kiss, the kiss that ends the movie.
We did the kiss like 3 days into shooting, so it was a little weird.
So we had like 3 hours to shoot with her at night, and a very complicated shot, and it had to be very emotional. It was the climax of the movie, the big kiss. And here she is 15, Chad is like 22, and so we go to shoot this, and we see as they're like starting to kiss that Hilary is, a little uncomfortable. She's kind of pushing back, and I'm like thinking, oh my God, we never really rehearsed this.
Not now.
I invited Chad and Hilary to come into my trailer. I said, you know what? I want you two to kiss. While I'm watching, I will represent the hundreds of extras that will be there.
So we're going in the trailer and they're practicing. He's like sitting there saying, okay, do that again. I'm like, Mark, why don't we step out and just let the two kids talk for a little while.
And finally I said, okay, I'm now gonna leave the trailer and you guys just kiss and kiss and kiss and kiss until you're so sick of it that you become bored with it. We got him up there and we shot and shot. I was like nervous. Here's the end moment. I'm going, ooh, do we have it? Do we have it?
Austin, what are you doing?
Something I should have done a long time ago.
And finally, they did the kiss to end all kisses.
Bad thing. Stop it.
Duff finished A Cinderella Story on August 25th. The next day, her debut album, Metamorphosis, hit stores.
It was just very nerve-wracking. I was very nervous.
Like everybody expected, oh, it's gonna be another Britney Spears. They just saw, oh, this cute girl on the Disney Channel, blonde, it's gotta be, bubblegum pop.
There at times can be a stigma attached and associated with people who are trying to do everything. Immediately you're kind of starting as an underdog if you were a television star or a movie star and you want to release a song. It's like, oh, here we go again.
I think that the wholesome image for her is always going to be a tough thing. Once people put you in a category, it's a pain.
As it turned out, Hilary made a smooth transition.
We debuted #2 and then went to the #1 spot in the second week.
I think that she certainly had to prove that she could be successful on the pop chart.
I was an actress and then I started singing and nobody paid attention to me and everyone, said things and until my single came out and then all the fans supported it. My album came out and it was, big and sold a lot of records.
Hilary Duff conquered the charts. But could the fledgling pop star pull it off in person? On November 16, 2003, Duff was put to the test at the American Music Awards.
I remember her saying, I don't want to perform live. I'm too nervous. I can't handle it.
I'm really nervous about tonight. It's like all these people that I love are going to be sitting in the audience watching me, and I'm a little scared because they've done it so much longer than I have, so.
Like my mom and I were sitting there and we're like, just don't be nervous, but there's nothing you can do about it,
I felt like I was going to throw up. Like I didn't know what to do. I had rehearsed and I had everything down, but it was just so nerve-wracking. To be on the stage and see all these people sitting in the audience that are multi-platinum selling artists, and I was so petrified, and the music started and I knew I had to start singing and do it.
she had these huge steps to walk up and heels about 7 or 8 or 9 inch heels. All I was saying was, Hilary, don't fall. Hilary, don't fall.
She came through with flying colors, and it was one of my favorite performances of hers ever.
And she was different after that. She just took it and we started touring.
Hilary performed all over the United States and Canada, but reports began to circulate that Duff lip-synced her performances.
We have a live show, we have a live band. It can't get much more live than that. You have tracks of certain loops or keyboard pads. You need that support to make it feel, this sounds like the record. Everybody does it, from U2 to the Rolling Stones. There's nothing to be ashamed of.
Hilary didn't let the controversy bring her down. She quickly began recording her sophomore album while making another movie.
I'd be filming Raise Your Voice during the day and then going into the studio at night and recording. So I was kind of just scattered everywhere.
Hilary finished shooting Raise Your Voice in April 2004, then jumped right into filming The Perfect Man, co-starring Heather Locklear. But neither movie lived up to expectations.
The Perfect Man wasn't edgy enough for really the older teenagers and was maybe a touch more mature for the 6, 7, and 8-year-olds, and it kind of fell into a crack there.
Still, Duff had plenty to sing about. Her new album, Hilary Duff, was released on her 17th birthday.
That record came out, and I liked it even more than my first one because I had more control over it. It was more of me.
It's a little more rock. It's a little harder sounding, and it's a lot of answers. People have been reading a lot about me this past year in the tabloids, and it says a lot on the album.
We sold, I think, a little bit more in the first week than we did with the first one, so I was pleased and happy. And basically the whole circle starts over again. You gotta promote the record. Everybody wants a piece of her.
I had no idea she made as much money as she did. And how many cars she has. And this boat, this yacht that she's like P. Diddy and Hilary Duff.
By 2004, Hilary Duff wasn't just a tween queen anymore. The talented 17-year-old put her stamp on TV, movies, and music, and she was only getting started.
People would come up to me all the time and be like, I love your sense of style. Where do you buy your clothes? How do you put your outfits together? And I was so flattered by that. And I love clothes so much and always have. And that's really when it came about for me to start my own clothing line.
Hilary's line is called Stuff by Hilary Duff. And so we're calling it tween couture.
It's pretty eclectic. It's sort of like a sophisticated chic with a younger edge to it. She likes mixing all different kinds of stuff.
Cropped vest worn over this amazing Oxford shirt, herringbone skirt, all trimmed with lace, hoodie with beautiful English rose.
I would expect that over the next 2 to 3 years, Hilary will break that $1 billion retail sales level.
She's like a 30-year-old in an 18-year-old body. She works harder than anyone that I know.
Normally I'm too tired to go out at night. I'm like, I feel like a grandma because I work so hard during the day. At night I'm just like, I'm so tired.
But Hilary always found the energy to give back.
Hey, I'm Hilary Duff, and I'm proud to be the international spokesperson for Kids with a Cause. I'd like to tell you a little bit about our charity. Kids with a Cause brings hope, happiness, encouragement, and smiles to children and teens in hospitals, homeless shelters, and lots of other places.
The overall objective of Kids with a Cause is teaching the principles and practices of philanthropy. It's teaching the art of giving.
It's totally changed my life, and we work with everything from sick children to kids that are in shelters. I am so thankful to get to meet them.
It did surprise me that she had the understanding and the compassion and the care at such a young age.
There's nothing better than seeing a smile and knowing that it was you who helped make a difference in someone else's life.
Also, I started working with a company called USA Harvest.
USA Harvest is an all-volunteer organization that takes food from people who have it and don't want it, and gives it to people who want it but don't have it.
We said, hey, anybody who has non-perishable foods or just canned foods, load them up and bring them to the venue.
The food is delivered before Hilary's even done with her concert the same night to missions and shelters and soup kitchens and AIDS facilities.
And we fed something like 2 million people. I feel lucky to be in the position that I'm in to raise the awareness of other people that are less fortunate than me.
Her mother is one of the most incredible women I've ever met. And that says a lot about Hilary. Their philanthropic effort is all over this world. And that was an inspiration to the kids. So I think her family structure has a lot to do with it.
Then, on September 28, 2005, Hilary Duff officially became an adult.
We kind of thought, oh my gosh, she's turning 18, you know, what's this gonna be like? And we definitely got the, like, I'm 1/8 attitude a lot. But nothing has really changed.
She's the girl next door. She's not gonna all of a sudden take her clothes off.
I'm not in some huge rush to grow up, but definitely I do want to grow up, and I do, you know, if it happens to be with my work, want to challenge myself and do different things.
One thing will never change: the media's fascination with Hilary.
They're always there, and like this one time, like they were chasing us. Finally, like Hilary pulled over and was like, "Dude, like what do I have to do for you to stop following me?" And he was like, "Oh, can we just get a picture of you?" And we were like, "Okay." So we had to like get out of the car and like pretend like we were going to the ATM just so he would stop following us.
She's really, really sweet about it, but I mean, you gotta draw a line somewhere. Personal life is personal.
Well, I'm not a brand, I'm a person, and then I want people to see that I have, you know, maybe not a normal life to everybody, but you know, with my family, with my friends, I'm a totally normal person and a normal girl.
I think probably one of the biggest misconceptions about Hilary has been her involvement in stories that people have, you know, talked about her in tabloids and made up about her, as far as like her relationships with other actresses her age.
And it's tough because there have been people taking shots at Hilary, but at the end of the day, I have to tell Hilary, this is what you chose to do. So this is what comes with it.
In this industry, in this business, and kind of the life that I have, there's so much negativity, and there's so much drama and so much chit-chat and stuff that's made up, because let's get it straight. I gossip sometimes. You gossip sometimes. It's fun sometimes, but unfortunately, a lot of people like bad news more than they like good news. And it's unfortunate when it happens to you and the whole world reads about it.
Hilary learned to protect her private life. Few knew when she hooked up with Good Charlotte frontman Joel Madden.
I think I saw pictures of them together first in a magazine, and then when I actually saw them in the neighborhood together, I thought,
He was in a rock band, he had tattoos. I'm like, what is going on here?
He put me on the spot and asked me for my phone number in front of all these people, and I couldn't say no.
Once again, the protective side of me came out when they first met, and I was like, this is not happening. He's definitely proved me wrong, and she has proved me wrong. I adore Joel. He's been wonderful to my sister and for my sister.
he's a great guy. He's been over to the house. We spent time with him, and the dude's got some nice cars.
Her boyfriend seems antithetical to who she might be, which she says to me is the beauty of it, is that they're so different, and that's what makes it work.
You can't deny when people find a connection within each other, and he's just amazing to her.
I'm gonna take my girl out tonight. We're gonna go out. Of course, I always take her on dates. I think she takes it for granted. I'm very romantic. Are you? Of course, yeah. Ask her about it. I'm romantic. I always got tricks up my sleeve.
People think that we're so different because of the way that we look, but we're not necessarily as different as people would think. He's who he is and I'm who I am, and we happen to be together.
There were professional perks too. The rocker helped Hilary write 3 songs for her new album.
That was just a great opportunity. Proud to work with her. We're just proud to work with her, and it was fun, and you know, she's talented, and it was just cool for us to do.
Tween Queen, Superstar, Mini Mogul. In a few short years, Hilary Duff went from ordinary girl to megastar. But she'll never forget where she came from or the people who've been with her all the way.
I can say that the only reason that I'm where I am right now today is because of my mom, especially, but my whole entire family.
Susan's done an amazing job of keeping the family together in a business that doesn't necessarily kind of adhere itself to togetherness.
Okay, so do you. I didn't even get to get ready with you today. I know.
Haley has a special sisterly relationship with Hilary. Haley is the one who sparked everything. Haley started dancing. Hilary wanted to dance. Haley started acting. Hilary wanted to act.
She's my best friend. You know, even to this day, I'm 18 years old and I still just want to be exactly like her. She's a really special big sister, and I think that I'm getting choked up talking about her. I feel so stupid. I feel like, I'm getting so choked up. I feel like being in this business, it's so much to deal with, you know, and she's like my sanity.
I feel like I learn as much from her as she learns from me. Everything that she's achieved has been because the three of us came out here determined to do something. It's kind of been like the three chicks from the beginning, you know. We came out here together, we'll be together forever.